writing shit. Okay. Someone's already calling. Good. Morning, everybody. What's up? Welcome to CNET Live. We are here, fresh in the morning. Joining me at the round table of great minds here, Miss Sharon Profis.
Hello.
Miss Sarah Matroff.
Hi.
And Mr. Octopus Man, producer extraordinaire, Mr. Stephen Beecham, ladies and gentlemen. This man does everything right. Okay, welcome this morning. We're all here for Google's big announcements. This is their time to shine. We're going to talk about the stuff we expect to see, but just an overall view. Nexus phones, potential Chromecast, new Chromecast, potential Chromecast audio device, and maybe a little sneak peek at what other things they're working on. But that's what we're here to talk about. We have ways for you guys to interact with us all the time. The phone number, you can call us because we take live calls. I mean, someone's already calling right now. I think I know who it is. They're already on top. They're already on top of it, right? The phone number to call is 1-888-900-CNET. That is 2638, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you can call, pick our brains, talk to us about maybe what questions you have about this event coming up, things you want to see. Also, you guys can interact with us with a cool hashtag CNET Live. If you guys have any questions, things of that nature, send a tweet, hashtag it. We will look at it. We will talk to you. We will respond. We will be your friend. Because I know right now it's really early for some people, and you're the only one awake at your house. Or your mom and dad already left for work, and you're ditching school. You know how it is. So, ladies and gentlemen here in the building, Google's here. Really, this is their chance to showcase. One of the things is their new phones, right? We've seen pretty much Samsung put out their flagship for 2015. Apple threw out their flagship for 2015. This is time for Google to really showcase it. What are you guys hearing? Or, Sarah was kind of talking about how she was a little disappointed. So maybe you can expand on that with us a little, and we can all bounce our thoughts off each other.
Yeah.
For quick background, I've heard Sarah talk about anticipating this phone for months now. So there's been a lot of buildup.
There's been so much buildup. I love the Nexus phones. If you don't know them, they're the most pure Google experience, Android experience you're going to get. There's no bloatware on them. So they're highly desirable to Android fans like myself.
Or people,
Android Pay, even USB Type-C charging, which means you don't have to keep flipping your little charger over and over again.
Oh,
like little
yeah,
things like
baby.
that make me excited. But I don't know, there's been a lot of rumors leading up to this that it's a swirling mess of different bad things about this phone. And Nexus phones have historically had really terrible cameras. Not terrible, but mediocre.
No, terrible's an okay word.
And a lot of the reviews are usually, it's a great phone except for the camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to change this year. The rumors I've seen don't really point to it being that much better. But I'm still really excited about a fingerprint scanner. Like, for me, that's a big deal. I really want one because it makes unlocking your phone so much better.
So let's just kind of set this up for people that are watching right now. The phones that we expect to see, okay? So we're expecting to see two phones. One will be the Nexus 6X. This is designed by Huawei.
6P.
6P, sorry. I'm getting them all mixed up, right? 6P, designed by Huawei, 5.7-inch screen. And just to kind of go down some of the specs that you guys can expect to see here, right? 5.7-inch high-res display. Reports have said it is believed to be using AMOLED technology. Full metal unibody. Android Marshmallow, obviously. Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor. Large battery. 3450 milliampere hour battery.
Yeah.
A weight at 178 grams. Also, again, like you said, USB Type-C. Also, my favorite feature, thanks to HTC pushing hard dual front speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming to the Nexus as well. This is really their kind of larger flagship phone. Also a 12.3 megapixel rear camera. But reports have said that there will be no optical image stabilization on that specific camera, which is a bummer for a unit this size.
Right.
And some reports point to the fact that maybe they're trying to keep the cost down a little lower to aid in that. We'll find out, but that's what the rumors are saying, at least for that phone. And then the other phone, which is going to be geared a little more to the broader audience just based on price point and screen size, that's the Nexus 5X. Also, one thing just to go back, the 6P will come with 3 gigs RAM, according to reports. The 5X, this is kind of their 5-inch display phone, 2 gigs of RAM. Also, it won't have as beefy of specs. Same 12.3 megapixel camera. What else do we have here? Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on it, fingerprint sensors as well. But yeah, I think quite honestly, the 6X is really the sexy of the two. We'll see both of them. Sharon, do you have any thoughts of kind of like what you're seeing here?
I'm seeing a phone that's playing catch up. Fingerprint scanners aren't new. USB Type-C is probably the most exciting thing in my eyes. This is the first time, if they sell a lot of phones, we're going to see it really out there in the wild. A lot of people using it, and there's a lot of potential there. Ahead of this, I was reading a lot. People are upset about the 2 gigs of RAM, but I actually don't think that it's going to be a bad thing. Well, we don't know what the speed of the RAM is, but with Android Marshmallow, Google, from what I remember, is changing the architecture of Android so that it actually doesn't need as much RAM. So that looks fine to me. Other than that, I mean, biggest concern right now is, what is the price of this? Is it going to be competitive? Seeing that this is now seeing right now that this isn't like a groundbreaking phone. It's pretty standard. It's going to be pure Android. It needs to be a whole lot cheaper than the other phones out there. So,
well, let me drop this on you for a whole lot cheaper.
Let's do this.
Nexus 6P, reportedly from Android Police, will be available for pre-order. Right now, the rumblings have said, it's only going to be available online
through
and
Google.
Through Google.
That's what we know. And the rumors say that they won't be sold in carrier stores. We don't know if that means actual brick and mortar carrier stores, if that'll be online through carriers. Possibly, Google has a problem usually with not having enough stock in the beginning, and people go a little crazy. So these phones sell out really quickly. So it's possible they know that they're only going to sell it through Google, and then maybe a few months down the road, your carrier will get it. That's the hope.
Yeah. So right now, the rumored pricing will be starting at, and this is with the 6P that will start at 32 gigs of storage. Pay attention, Apple, 32 gigs of storage. $499 US, UK, Ireland, Canada, and Japan. And then if we go over to the 5X, we'll start at $379. And this is, again, without a contract, September 29th, which is today. So we're expecting to hear them say that these phones will be available now. Now, I know that in this room, you guys are kind of bummed about the specs. But for someone like me, like my last Android phone was an HTC One. But I'm actually looking to get a new work phone. And I want a pure Android experience. And so, I guess the weird part about me, because of the way that I'm looking at it as a work phone, I know that I'm going to use my iPhone's camera. Right? And so because this is going to be more of my daily driver work phone, I guess I don't care about the camera as much. But again, if this was my only phone, I would. We'll see what the camera, how it all shakes out and everything. But we will take what we're going to do right now. We're just going to pause and transition, but we're going to take a phone call from inside the building over in San Francisco, where we're going to hear from Miss Lynn Law. Is that correct?
Yes, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess.
Hi, how is everybody? I'm here in San Francisco in the Let's Space Studios, where Google is holding their Nexus event today.
So, Miss Lynn Law, we talked already about the Nexus phones. We haven't touched much on the Chromecast devices yet, but, with these announcements, what are you expecting to see at least that you think you'll be the most impressed with?
Well, I didn't know what you guys talked about before, but if you guys did mention the Nexus, I think I'm mostly excited for that rumored 5.2 is Nexus 5X. I think, I really love the Nexus line, but the Google Nexus 6 and the 5.7-inch Motorola Moto X Pure Edition, which was, kind of a close Android experience, they were both too big for me. So this new 5.2-inch one, I'm really excited. And, of course, I'm also kind of curious to see how Huawei would manufacture a new Nexus phone, because they're rumored to do the second Nexus device. And it'd be really great to see what they can do with it, with their own kind of collaboration with Google.
Lynn, I know you obviously cover every phone under the sun as well over here. What are kind of some of the challenges that you think, that the Nexus may face? We know that the biggest advantage is the really true, pure Android experience. Marshmallow is expected to, come out very soon, early October. But what are some of the things that are working for it and maybe against it right now?
Well, I mean, with the exception of the last Google Nexus 6, the Nexus line has always been regarded as a very budget-friendly kind of device. So with that price hike with the last iteration, I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do with the starting price, to see if they're going to kind of go back to the traditional kind of 300 or 400 unlock range, or are they going to go for the $600 range, like the $600 upward range like they did before. It might change, of course, because the size is smaller, so that might, kind of give us a peek that the price might start a little bit smaller with a smaller variation. But I'm kind of wanting to see, because the last time the Nexus 6 price came out, it kind of discouraged a lot of the users who were interested in it but didn't like the price.
All right, Lynn. Well, you know what? I know that you'll be covering the live blog out there and being on top of it. So just for everyone that is watching right now, we will have a live blog that will complement Google's live stream. We're actually going to be able to pull Google's video. So, Lynn, get in there, get settled in, and we thank you for your time, and go get them, girl, all right?
Woo!
All right, thanks. Have fun, everybody.
Bye,
We are.
Lynn.
It's a party in here. It's a party. Woo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 8:45 a.m. right now, Pacific Standard Time. We're expecting the keynote to start at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. I just wanted to refer to some of your tweets of some of the questions that you guys are asking, because we said we're going to talk to you. Also, we are going to take calls. All the phone lines are locked in right now. But let's just check out what we have here on Twitter. Quentin Iricott asks any word on wireless charging specs.
Ooh.
From what we've seen and heard, there appears to be no wireless charging. From what we've seen and heard. Again, maybe that might be different.
Surprised.
We could be surprised.
We could.
Nexus 6 had that capability.
Correct.
So it wouldn't be unsurprising if they put it in there. But at the same time, if they're trying to make them more budget line and make them slightly cheaper than all these other really expensive flagship phones, maybe not.
And it also depends. I know the 6P is a metal unibody, which would probably tend to point to at least no wireless charging on that device, because its entire shell is made of metal. And just to actually conduct that and make that happen, it's typically not put on full metal bodies.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see how that all shakes out. Another question or comment. Kyle Williams says, would like to see a remote for the Chromecast like the Fire TV stick.
I thought your phone was a remote.
This is the
I
remote,
think it's
homie.
called cell phone.
Yeah, it's usually within the app that you're trying to Chromecast.
Kyle,
from.
we all love you. We're just saying.
But no.
This is a remote. This is a remote. Remote. Okay, CNET Live. Will it be better than the iPhone 6s? Tech for you asks.
No.
Well, it depends on what you want.
Depends
if you
on
want,
you.
It depends on you. It always, if you want an Android experience phone, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love
We're not
it.
talking about specs.
I mean, to me, I'm kind of past the point where specs matter per se, because everyone wants something different.
Yeah,
right?
do you really want Android? That's the question, because like this is going to be the first phones running Android Marshmallow 6.0. It's going to be not like an amazing step forward in Android, but it's really cool. It's going to be really interesting. And if that's what you really, really want, then yeah, it's better than the iPhone. But if you're not really, if you have different priorities, maybe not.
I mean, let's be honest. The priority is Instagram. Okay.
Oh, man. I guess.
Let's hope not.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to stand alone on that one.
In all seriousness, though, the camera is so incredibly important that it just blows my mind how year after year Google just puts that on the back burner for these phones. And I please surprise me. Give us a camera that's on par with the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the 6S phones, and I will zip my lips and not say anything else. But as long as they continue to release these phones that are like, that just count on the software to make up for the poor quality of the camera, I just can't respect them.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially because if the 5X is going to be built by LG, they just put out the G4, which has a fantastic camera.
Yes.
They poured so much camera technology into that phone. There's no way they couldn't have even done half of that for this phone. So I agree.
The thing also, though, I think that whether it's based on the price requirement they're trying to hit, and also these are manufacturers that are contracted by Google.
Sure.
So they are limited by what those parameters are. And so even if we said, like, Google's obviously okay that they don't have the best camera this time around, I'm hoping it'll be different. I mean, Huawei is designing the flagship phone. They're both 12.3 megapixel cameras. They can't they can't look that bad, but I totally get it, right? The color saturation, the tones, the things that we see in all the other cameras that go beyond megapixels. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We will wait and see. I just know that I won't, that's not my priority for this phone.
Yeah. Well,
But again,
not
if you're
everybody can have
IG,
two
if you're
phones.
IG,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's all about the IG.
IG's filters alone could fix that. That's why they have the filters, y'all.
Yeah, to fix the Nexus phones.
To fix the camera. All right, let's get to some phone calls because we do know we're going to start around 5 o'clock. We're going to hit line 1. Always here, always ready. Good morning, sir. Who is this?
You already know.
It's your boy, Shamel.
Should I just make him a lower third?
Yeah, we should
show?
give him a lower third. I
I
think.
know, he
Send me your
deserves
Twitter
that.
handles from
He's
us.
like our guest.
He's pretty much honorary guest.
Bonnie's saying
we
we
get-
need a photo, everything.
I think we could get it.
Trust me, I'm gonna make it a point to fly out there one day so you can give me the tour, the whole nine.
So what's up, bro? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was just gonna ask if, considering that Google is putting out their 2 Nexus phones this time, and I think I asked you this around Google I/O, but I'm still wondering if the Google Play Edition program is just completely dead at this point, because we never. I want to say maybe the S5 or the S4 and the HTC One were probably the last phones I heard they were getting that kind of treatment. So I was just wondering if that's just a done deal now.
Yeah. Also, quick side note: we just show you some love. Pop your Twitter page up on there.
Nice.
Oh.
We just had to
okay,
we just had to represent you like that. You're like longtime listener, longtime friend. It's all good.
Warm heart feelings. Okay,
Good.
cool.
Warm fuzzies. What are your thoughts on the whole Google Play Edition thing? Sir, are we gonna? Is that a thing anymore?
No,
You
so
know?
they basically pulled a lot of that out. And what used to happen is you could buy from Google Play, the same place you can get your apps and other media. You could buy versions of the phone that were, not just the Nexus phones, like other flagship phones, HTC. I can't remember the rest of them. I don't think Samsung was part of that, but I could be wrong. Moto G. I guess in the Galaxy S.
Mm-hmm.
They winded that program down earlier this year, but they're still selling. I mean, they have a new Google store that they launched, I believe, over the summertime, and they're still selling, obviously, their Nexus phones. I haven't heard anything about the idea of keeping that alive, of like having these other flagship phones from other manufacturers that Google had no part in and putting like a pure version of Android running on that. It seems like they're moving more towards their own in-house branding.
Mm-hmm.
That's true with like the Chromebook Pixels that they're ramping a lot more up on. There's rumors of a new tablet coming out today that's also kind of feeding into this whole, like, they want their own little hardware division that's all their own branding and not bringing anyone else into that fold.
I've got to also imagine the fact that now these days carriers are going away from contracts. You can buy phones off contract directly from carriers. That was kind of one of the appeals of, the Google Play editions also, right? You weren't necessarily locked into that 2-year contract and you could get them from Google. Because of the way that dynamic has changed, that also makes it less lucrative to seek that out if that's what you were looking for. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right, Shamar, we're going to pound through the phones because, we love you, but we want to show love to other people waiting. You know what I mean?
I do understand. I don't want to hog all your time.
All right, bro. We'll
Plus,
see you.
it's not an Apple event, so I'm good.
All right, man. We'll see you. Thanks.
Google Doc has the names of the people.
Okay.
So use Google Doc.
Got it. All right. We are here. Line number 3. I'm trying to I can't see the name settings right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
In the chat,
Just-
Google Doc.
Yeah, my chat's not working, so
Yeah.
sorry about that. Okay, we'll work on this, guys, but welcome to CNET Live. Who are we talking to today? We're talking to no one.
Womp womp.
It's okay. We'll go to the next line. Line number 4, welcome to CNET Live. What's up?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
You're good? Is your name actually good?
No, it's not. It's Mark.
Oh, Mark. Where are you calling from, Mark?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Joyzy.
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Good morning to you guys. I know it's 8:30 over there.
He just wants to
Yeah, I mean,
chat.
you're ready for lunch, actually, so you're going to get a nice lunchtime show, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Listen, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get a Nexus Player 2? And what does it need to keep up with the new Apple TV?
Very nice. I love this segue. We haven't been able to hit on as much because we love talking about phones. We don't know anything directly about a Nexus player. I don't think we're going to see one, quite
No.
honestly. Everyone here is nodding their head no. what Google's really pushed towards, obviously, is their Chromecast line. We are expecting to see a brand new Chromecast with improved Wi-Fi. Let me see if I can just pull up the picture here. It's actually kind of interesting looking, very unlike what we've seen before, where we kind of had the longer, like a USB dongle, lollipop on the end of a USB tab, probably maybe around like 2 inches big or whatnot. So that Chromecast is going to be coming with, at least based on the reports, enhanced Wi-Fi as well. You'll still pop it into the HDMI port on the back. But I think really the push is Chromecast. People have really adopted it, loved it. The price point is super sweet. The last Nexus player, I don't know, it didn't really resonate with nearly enough people. And I saw how they did the whole round thing and try to make it unique, but sometimes it's almost out of place in your home theater system as well. They wanted it to be something that it just didn't pick up. So, do you own an original Nexus player?
No, but I'm looking to cut cable, so I thought the
Yeah.
idea that I could like sideload Android apps onto it would make it really cool. Because, for example, I have a Comedy Central subscription, but I can't watch it on my Chromecast, but I can watch it on a Nexus player, which is sort of a must for me.
Have you done? I mean, obviously you've probably done or tried it. The fact that with the Chrome browser you can display content, it sometimes can be a little laggy and delayed, but I know one of the workarounds some people would do is actually watch some of those content or subscription services they had through their TV, through their computer's laptop, and then just throw it to their Chromecast. Have you ever tried that?
They don't let you do that because it only works on their mobile apps, unfortunately, which is a shame too because I need my Trevor Noah. So, so yeah, he killed it last night. Yeah, so all right, I guess I'll have to look at a Roku then.
Yeah, I mean that's one killer solution, quite honestly. And we'll see what else. As time goes on, we know that this whole a la carte streaming business is going to change, and I think I don't want to say give it a year, but give it a year. I think it's going to be a lot easier to be able to access some of those services that you're subscribed to. Quite honestly, it's just they're all trying to figure out the rights more than anything else, and who's getting paid what, and that's what's holding up this whole thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Anyway, I'm actually going to go eat something because I'm starving. So good luck with your show, and happy Google Day.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right. So we are about 5 minutes out from the Google keynote. We'll take another call right here. It looks like we got Evan. Evan wants to talk specs of the Nexus phones. Evan, what's up?
Hi. I'm calling from Ohio. And I was just wondering if what you guys think of the specs of the Nexus 5X in terms of not exactly it having 2 gigs of RAM instead of 3, or a 1080p display instead of a 2K display, but rather the fact that the 2 gigs of RAM is DDR3 RAM and the display is using Gorilla Glass 3 instead of Gorilla Glass 4. That's kind of where I feel like Google should at least be using the most up-to-date technology.
In those areas that you just mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right on the money. I think if this was their only Nexus phone, I really feel the specs would be different.
Yeah.
But the way that they're kind of pushing people, right? The larger phone has the more premium specs, and there's like $120 difference, right? So even that jump alone, they're trying to create kind of that 2-tiered market, and that's what I see more than anything else out of this strategy is that they could have, but if they were going to have a phone that had a 5.2-inch screen that was basically like maybe a $30 difference in price than their 5.7-inch screen, it doesn't create enough of a dynamic to create these two different markets, and we've seen that a lot in phones just in general.
And back to what we were saying before, the Nexus line is partially designed to be a budget phone line. Google, when it makes hardware, it's in the business of making hardware that they can put into a lot of hands. So we were just talking about the Nexus Player, and they've shifted from creating that product to the Chromecast, which is a whole lot cheaper, can get into the hands of a lot more people. Maybe it's trying to compete. They're not trying to compete with like the $700, $800 phones that you can get from Samsung, LG, HTC, right? So I don't think that they're blind to that idea. This is like, you want a pretty good phone that runs pure Android. And this is also just like a playground for Google to test out the efficiency of its software. So again, like Marshmallow. It'll come out with pure Marshmallow, and Marshmallow is an entirely different system from KitKat and doesn't necessarily require some of the specs that KitKat did. So I don't think you're going to be disappointed with things like 2 gigs of RAM if it runs properly. We don't know yet. I haven't personally tested the beta of Marshmallow, but maybe
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
There's some
it's
missing
faster
features
app launching.
intentionally, but yeah, it's still pretty smooth. But I'm also running on a Nexus phone, so it's designed to work on a Nexus phone.
Right.
Like, I'm here to debate. Like, I don't think the Nexus phone is treated as a budget phone. I mean, I think that
Like $700.
what is it, $649?
Yeah. So like, and this theoretically, maybe rumored, will be $379. That's a budget phone.
No, it's $499 for the if you're talking about a
5
similar phone. The 6P
Sure.
is a 5.7-inch screen.
Sure.
Right? It's hitting 500. I'm just saying that I think of a budget phone as like a $300, $400 phone.
Yeah.
This is like that to me. That's that tier level, and I don't think that this phone is, completely like neutered based on specs from the 6P. If we're talking about the 5X is clearly just there to be a more entry level phone. I would say the 5X arguably budget phone, but the
Sure.
6P, I mean, this is to run Android Marshmallow. It's gonna run really nice. That's their flagship to show that this is the pure Android experience. That's all. I mean, that's where I stand on that.
Yeah. I think Google's had kind of an identity crisis over the last couple of years of deciding, is it budget, is it not? Because the Nexus 6 was quite expensive, very large, had a lot of like the big specs in it, wireless charging, all that stuff. But we've seen cheaper models in the past. I remember the Nexus 4 was quite inexpensive. The Nexus 5 wasn't over the top. So I think you guys are both right in that they, year after year, are kind of trying to hit different markets. They also know that these phones are really popular with like Android enthusiastic people, but that they're also, they want to hit these smaller markets that maybe the Samsung Galaxy S6 or the iPhone 6S isn't hitting, especially now because there's different ways to buy it and you might be spending more. So I'm really curious to see today what happens. I want to see how they're positioning this phone. How are they talking about it? Is this the best Google experience, or is this Android for everyone? Like, what is their hook, line, and sinker with this? And I think that'll really inform us how they're going to sell this, who it's for.
Yeah. So right now it looks like, I mean, I just like to have the debate of it because, we all stand in different places with our phones. So there's got to be people out there that are like, there's no way this is a budget phone. There's some people that say this might be a budget phone.
Right.
I mean, it just depends on where you stand and what you want.
Yeah.
It looks like we just had this little thing pulled up here, that Google's keynote.
Someone is on stage.
Someone is on stage, at least
Their stream
according to our
hasn't
people
started.
inside. But their actual stream hasn't started. What you guys will be able to
here we
do
go.
is follow along with our
Go ahead.
live blog, but we're going to go to the live stream. You guys can watch that. We'll be back afterwards just to kind of talk about what they talked about, all right?
Few days. Been spending time receiving the Indian Prime Minister to great excitement in the Valley, celebrating the Moon Festival with family and friends. I was trying to catch the blood moon a couple of nights ago. All I saw was the regular white moon. But thanks to YouTube, I think I saw the real deal. Hopefully you all had better luck. To being here this morning to talk about products, especially around computing, which is near and dear to my heart. Computing is the foundation of a lot of things we do. It's how users interface with technology. And for us, the way we do it is by investing in large open ecosystems, platforms, which we build with everyone, and that helps us do this at scale. And the scale at which everything is working is pretty breathtaking to see. Just over a year ago at Google I/O, we announced Android had 1 billion 30-day active devices across the world. Fast forward to today, we now have 1.4 billion 30-day active devices, which we see in Android around the world. So we've added 400 million active devices, and the momentum is happening around the world, especially in emerging economies. In many, many places, in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam, Android has literally doubled in the last year. And what's exciting about this is, in most of these cases, these are people who are adopting a smartphone for the first time. So we are well on our way to bringing the next billion users online. We care about making sure there is entry-level, high-quality, affordable smartphones for these users as well. which is why we do Android One. We've expanded the program to many countries. We recently launched it in Turkey about a month ago, and General Mobile's Android One phone has been the best-selling phone in Turkey since then. We see the same momentum here in the US as well. If you look at education, by the end of this year, there'll be more Chromebooks than every other device combined in US schools. And we are beginning to see the same momentum outside of the US as well. In fact, in the US, we were looking at data in September. Every single day, there are 30,000 new Chromebooks which get activated. So 30,000 new kids for the first time, many of them for the first time, get access to computing in their schools. We want to serve companies as well. We announced Android for Work about a year ago, and already in the US, there are over 10,000 companies which are either testing, partially deployed, or fully deploying Android for Work. These include, and to do that, we build hardware. And the reason we build hardware is so that we can work together. As we build the next version of the operating system, we build the hardware along with our ecosystem partners so that we can guide the ecosystem forward. And we do that with our Nexus devices. You'll hear from the team about it today. This year, we've gone a step further. We have a more comprehensive lineup. We've thought about the range of what's possible. And more importantly, we've thought about how do we take it to market. We have thought about not just the purchase of these devices, the post-purchase experience. And you'll hear about that from the team. In addition, we've had a Pixel team whose goal has been slightly different. Their goal has been to build aspirational devices so that they can guide the ecosystem into newer areas. We did Pixel for the Chromebook to show what's possible for the Chromebook model with a touchscreen, new touchpads, and more recently, even USB-C. The same team has been hard at work for their first Android device, focused on productivity, and we call it the Pixel C, and you'll hear about it from the team today. We are, of course, thinking beyond phones and tablets. We've spoken before about the multi-screen world. Users have access to computing in several contexts throughout their day-to-day lives, including in the living room. We've taken a very different approach to computing in the living room. We do it using Chromecast, and it bets on the phone as the center of your experience. And the Chromecast team has a set of exciting updates for you as well. So in this multi-screen world, it's even more important for us as Google to do the hard work so that the user experience is simple and delightful for users. And increasingly, we do that by doing hard and deep computer science, deep learning, to make sure the end user experience is much easier on users. You'll see machine learning at work either on Now on Tap or Google. So we obviously work with many, many developers to bring all of this together. And Google Play is the ecosystem which brings all of this together for users. And that is working at scale as well. I'm excited to announce that today, Google Play is now over 1 billion 30-day active users. So the model is, again, working at scale. And this ecosystem is what makes everything we do possible. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the team to talk about what's up ahead. I know there have been some rumors, but hopefully we have a few things to share with you and help tell the end-to-end story. So with that, let me invite Dave Burke.
Thanks, Sundar. Nexus represents the latest in mobile technology directly from Google. It's the most advanced Android software built into innovative hardware developed jointly by Google and our device partners. A Nexus is Android as we've designed it, showcasing the very latest and best in material design and the newest Android software. And today, I'm super excited to announce not one, but two amazing new Nexus phones, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. So let's start with the Nexus 6P. Now, I've been using this device for several weeks, and I'm absolutely loving it. We partnered with Huawei to create the first ever full metal-bodied Nexus phone. It's crafted from aeronautical-grade anodized aluminum, and the phone is only 7.3 millimeters thin, and it has beautiful diamond-cut edges and a sculpted back that make it feel really comfortable to hold. The phone is available in 3 colors: frost white, aluminum, and graphite. Now, the Nexus 6P has an incredibly vibrant 5.7-inch WQHD AMOLED display. And we've maximized the area of the screen to be 74% of the overall device. So you get an amazingly immersive experience without the phone feeling too big. This is a 5.7-inch phone, but roughly the same size as many 5.5-inch devices. Now, inside, the phone packs the latest 64-bit processor, powered by an almost 3.5 amp-hour battery. The brand new USB Type-C port brings fast charging. So the Nexus 6P can charge fully in about half the time of an iPhone 6 Plus. And of course, Type-C gets you the much more convenient reversible plug, so no more guessing which way is up. You'll also notice the phone has stereo forward-facing speakers for crisp, clear sound. Now, the Nexus 6P has the best camera we've ever put into a Nexus device, a 12.3 megapixel Sony imaging sensor with enormous 1.55 micron pixels. The 6P can produce stunning images even in the toughest of lighting conditions. We've also incorporated a high-resolution 8-megapixel front-facing camera with HDR+, so you can get the world's best selfies on this phone. The 6P comes with Nexus Imprint, a seamless way of authenticating with your fingerprint. We put an incredibly fast and accurate fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone to complement the way you naturally hold it. One touch will effortlessly wake up the device for smooth, fast access. And of course, Nexus Imprint works seamlessly with Android Pay for making purchases in stores. The Nexus 6P runs the latest Android 6.0 software, codenamed Marshmallow. And like all Nexus devices, it receives the latest software and security updates directly from Google. OK, a few years back, we partnered with LG to build a Nexus 5. And this went on to become one of the most loved and popular Nexus phones we've ever launched. This year, we're happy to announce an update to this iconic phone with the all-new Nexus 5X. Now, the Nexus 5X offers top-of-the-line performance in a compact, affordable package. It has a beautiful 5.2-inch display, but it maintains the trademark screen-to-weight ratio, coming in at only 136 grams, which is amazing for a screen of this size. We've also increased the battery size by almost 20% to 2,700 milliamp hours, so the phone lasts even longer. Beneath the 5.2-inch display is a 64-bit processor, giving you world-class speed and performance. And the Nexus 5X has some of the same great hardware features you'll find in the Nexus 6P. So the 1.55 micron camera to capture more light, Nexus Imprint for quick and secure access, and of course, USB Type-C for fast charging. The phone itself is available in carbon black, quartz white, and ice blue. So to learn a little bit more about both phones, let me walk you through a couple of key hardware features in more detail. So let's talk about camera. Modern flagship phones do pretty well for outdoor shots, but where they tend to struggle is with indoor photography in less than ideal lighting conditions. And that's ironic because people spend over 20 hours a day indoors. The new Nexus camera is great outdoors, but it's also optimized for indoor photography in 3 key ways. First, as I mentioned earlier, the 12.3 megapixel imaging sensor has very large 1.55 micron pixels, providing 92% more light collection efficiency than the original Nexus 6. Now, pixel size is not a dimension you usually hear people talk about, but it's really important to the quality of the picture. The larger the pixel size at a given density, the more photons of light the sensor can collect in tricky lighting conditions. And because the sensor collects more light, it allows us to run shorter exposure times, so you have less motion blur. So that, combined with the fact you get less handshake artifacts when you have larger pixels, means we obviate the need for OIS. In fact, this Sony imaging sensor was originally designed for camcorders and digital cameras and is unprecedented in a mobile phone. Second, we've chosen a fast closed-loop autofocus technology optimized for low-light conditions. The Nexus 6P has a laser detect autofocus system which uses a time-of-flight IR laser to enable instant autofocus of close-by objects. And we've iterated and improved our HDR plus computational photography and added a new mode that automatically kicks in during low light. So let's compare the Nexus 6P against the original Nexus 6 and the iPhone 6s. With photos taken at about 23 minutes past sunset, the cameras are roughly comparable. Now, let's take a look at 37 minutes past sunset when things get darker, and you can clearly see a difference. In low-light environments, the Nexus 6P outperforms all of the other phones we've tested in terms of brightness, detail, less noise or graininess, and better tone mapping. And here's a couple of photos that Googlers have been able to take while out casually testing the phone. Some of these were just literally taken around the Google campus. It's an amazing camera. Also, new this year is slow-motion video, which is fun and great for action scenes. And kids like this one absolutely love being the subject of it. The Nexus 5X can capture 120 frames per second, and the Nexus 6P up to 240 frames per second. And the Google Photos app now allows you to edit the region of interest of the video to slow down. And of course, both phones naturally support 4K video resolution at normal rate. We've also added a new feature to the Nexus 6P, which we call Smart Burst. You simply hold down the shutter button to trigger, which captures bursts of images at a staggering 30 frames per second. Smart Burst lets you create fun animated GIFs of the moment, like this one, and you can automatically select the best image from the burst. Finally, being able to quickly capture a fleeting moment is important for mobile phone cameras. So we've added the ability for you to just double tap the power button to instantly launch the camera. Okay, so next, I'd like to talk to you about the new Android Sensor Hub. This is a dedicated low-power processor that connects directly to the phone's sensors and runs Google's unique sensor algorithms. Now, modern smartphones are evolving to become more aware of their environment, to move beyond questions like, where am I, to more nuanced things like, how familiar am I with this area, and what am I currently doing? Answering these questions requires processing large amounts of sensor data over time in a power-efficient way. By offloading sensor processing from the main CPU to the Android Sensor Hub, we're able to run at a fraction of the power budget. The Nexus 5X and 6P uses the Sensor Hub in a couple of innovative ways. So for example, the Sensor Hub performs advanced activity recognition. So it's smart enough to track your run or your biking as soon as you start, even with the screen off with minimal power overhead. The Sensor Hub can also detect when the phone is picked up and automatically activate the ambient display. And the ambient display shows you the time and any pending notifications on your lock screen in a low-power white on black display mode. From there, you can seamlessly touch the screen to go into a full power mode and interact with the notifications. So that's the Android Sensor Hub. I'd like to talk about another feature, another great hardware feature on these phones, and that's fingerprint. The Nexus 5X and 6P comes with Nexus Imprint, which makes unlocking the phones more convenient and secure and lets you accelerate payments and sign-in operations. Now, fingerprint sensors have been available on several devices in the Android ecosystem for a while, but Nexus Imprint implements the new fingerprint sensor support in Android 6.0 for the first time, which opens up fingerprint recognition to the entire app ecosystem. The Nexus Imprint sensor provides amazing performance. Registering a finger takes literally just a couple of seconds. Once trained, the sensor can recognize a single finger in less than 600 milliseconds. It's convenient and secure, and the sensor performs with an incredibly low false reject rate, so it almost never fails. What's really cool is that Nexus Imprint gets better over time. With each use, it learns more about your unique fingerprint. So to unlock my device with Nexus Imprint, all I have to do is tap the sensor at the back, and it simultaneously wakes up the app's processor and unlocks the phone. It's incredibly smooth and lightning fast. Fingerprint unlocking is super convenient when combined with Android Pay. So when you're in a store, simply touch the back of your phone to unlock, tap the payment terminal to complete your purchase. It's that easy. On the phone itself, you can use your fingerprint to simply and quickly authorize Play Store purchases. And we've been working with partners to integrate fingerprint support across a wide range of banking and commerce apps. OK, so let's switch gears for a moment and talk about some of the features of Marshmallow that really shine on the Nexus 5X and 6P. With Android 6.0 Marshmallow, we've gone back to the basics to focus on improving the core user experience. At Google I/O in May, we talked about some of the areas we polished, like text selection improvements, a new copy and paste floating bar, volume controls, and more. Now that we're done, I wanted to show you a few more examples of polish and craftsmanship that can be found throughout Marshmallow. So let's start with the lock screen. Now, we already have quick access to camera from the lock screen. In Marshmallow, we've extended quick access to Google Voice Search and Actions. So you just swipe from the left corner, and you get this beautiful material reveal animation, and then you can simply say what you want. For example, call Pacino Restaurant. You'll also notice the little charging indication on the lock screen, indicating that the phone is in fast charging mode, thanks to USB Type-C. And it's also estimating how much time the phone will take to charge. So let's unlock the phone. Now, one of the first things you'll notice is that we've reworked the window animations. So they follow the material design principle, where elements appear from their point of touch or interaction. When you touch a launcher icon, it expands outwards, and then it dismisses vertically downwards when you're done with it. So it feels intuitive and natural. We've also taken great care to simplify how heads-up notifications work. If you receive a heads-up notification, say an incoming text message, the notification now peaks down with a little bouncing animation to get your attention without disrupting your current task. You can easily push the notification back up to its hiding place, or you can swipe down to reveal the rest of the notification shade. Now the physics of notifications are truly consistent everywhere. Another area we polished and refined is the home screen. In Marshmallow, you can quickly scroll to find an app with the new A to Z indexing scheme, or indeed just instantly type the first letter or two to find the app. We've also added on-device intelligent prediction engine to learn your pattern of app launches over time and provide dynamic shortcuts at the top of the launcher for quick access. The phone learns your patterns, so it'll be able to show you apps you tend to launch at a certain time of day, say in the morning versus the evening, or in fact, apps you tend to launch in a specific sequence. And of course, with Marshmallow, we've radically changed the user permission model by greatly simplifying the number of permissions apps can ask for and only asking for permission the first time you try to use a feature, instead of asking during installation time. So, for example, let's say I launch Twitter and I want to tweet with an attached location. When I press the location button, the system presents a runtime permission for location like so. Now, we've heard loud and clear from Android users that they feel some phones come installed with too much bloatware. With the new Nexus devices, we've reduced the number of preloaded apps on the phone to make the out-of-box experience cleaner and simpler. We've also developed a new system that moves over a quarter of our apps to a post-setup installation phase, which means they can be uninstalled just like any other apps. OK, so at Google I/O in May, we demoed a new feature we've been working on called Now on Tap. This feature is launching with the Nexus 5X and 6P, making our new phones not just faster, but also smarter. Now on Tap brings the power of Google Search to whatever you're doing on the phone. You simply tap and hold the home button to get quick information and actions without leaving the app you're currently in. So Google draws on all of the resources of your phone to bring you the right information and apps for what you need in the moment. So let's take a look at this in action. Maya is here on stage to help me with a couple of demos. Maya, by the way, is the product manager behind the awesome Nexus Imprint feature I showed earlier. OK, so let's say Maya is using WhatsApp, and she receives a message like so from a friend who's asking to meet at the Cascals restaurant at 7 p.m. From here, she can simply long press the home button to trigger Now on Tap to get information and quick access. Here, you can quickly see the restaurant's rating and how far away it is. Now on Tap is providing assistance on directions. There's a phone icon to directly call a restaurant, and even a Yelp icon to get reviews. Now on Tap is also providing a convenient option to directly create a calendar reminder event. And you can see if Maya then taps on the open table icon, she can directly book a table for the restaurant her friend had mentioned. It's super convenient. Now on Tap is a really innovative enhancement to Google Now's assistant capabilities. And like many of Google's services, it's based on a learning system, which gets better with usage over time. And we're excited to be able to get this out to users now and continue to iterate and improve it with regular updates via the Play Store. Another cool feature in Android is voice actions, which lets you use just your voice to perform actions such as sending a text message or setting an alarm. In Android 6.0, we've extended this feature to enable app developers to build conversational voice experiences directly into their own app. So let's take a look at an example. Maya has an updated version of the NPR app on her phone that supports the new voice interaction capabilities in Marshmallow. She's able to trigger the app and then interact with the app all by her voice. So let's take a look.
Okay, Google, listen to NPR.
Here's the latest news. Would you like to resume the California Reporter catch up on the latest news?
Latest news.
Okay, catching you up on the latest news.
This is Queena Kim, and you're listening to KQED Public Radio.
So what was cool here was the NPR app was able to ask a clarifying question to Maya to complete the voice action. So it's powerful and seamless. Both the Nexus 5X and 6P support always-on OK Google detection that works even when the screen is off, thanks to a hardware DSP. So any app can implement the new voice interaction capabilities to support this kind of hands-free use. OK, so let's move on and talk about battery. Our engineers have been working hard on optimizing battery life on Android for several years. With Marshmallow, we think we've made our biggest breakthrough to date. We've made Android smarter about how it manages power with the new doze mode. We're using significant motion detection to learn if a device has been left unattended for a period of time. In that case, we'll exponentially back off background activity to go into a deeper sleep state, yet still be able to respond to real-time messages. We've also optimized the system to prioritize the apps you use more frequently over those that you don't. The results in Marshmallow are pretty dramatic, and you'll especially notice the improvements if you leave your device down and forget to charge it overnight, for example. In fact, when the screen is off, the average battery life lasts 30% longer in Marshmallow on the first generation Nexus 5 and Nexus 6 devices. And these are extraordinary numbers to improve battery life by purely via software changes. And of course, the new Nexus 5X and 6P benefit from these power improvements in Marshmallow. OK, so finally, I'm happy to announce that Android 6.0 Marshmallow will begin rolling out to existing Nexus devices starting next week, including the Nexus 5, 6, 7, 9, and Nexus Player. Now, here's Sabrina to tell you more about where you can buy the new Nexus 5X and 6P. Thank you.
Thanks, Davey. The team is really excited to launch these two new Nexus phones. So I want to take a moment to tell you where you can actually buy them. And that's at the Google Store. Back in March, we launched the Google Store as the new home for the latest devices that work with Google, including Nexus phones and tablets, Chromecast, Chromebooks, Android Wear watches, and Nest products, not to mention the accessories that go with them. Now the Google Store is available in over 24 countries and 50 different languages. And we continue to work to make it easier for you to find and buy the hardware you're looking for. We're guessing the hardware you're looking for today might include our new phones. So let's talk details. Starting today, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P will be available for pre-order on the Google Store in the US, UK, Ireland, and Japan, with more countries coming in the next few weeks. Outside the US, in addition to the Google Store, we're also partnering with leading retailers and carriers to sell both devices. In terms of pricing, the Nexus 5X starts at $379, and the Nexus 6P starts at $499. Both phones will begin shipping later in October. Both will be unlocked without tying you to a contract. Both will work across major networks in the US as well as internationally. And both come with a great new set of offers and services that I want to tell you more about now. First, all Nexus phones will come with a 90-day free subscription to Google Play Music. So you'll have access to over 35 million songs anytime you want. Second, all Nexus pre-orders in the US also include a $50 Play credit. So you can stock up on your favorite apps, games, and movies. And third, you'll now have the option to safeguard your phone with a new program we're launching called Nexus Protect. Nexus phones already include a 1-year manufacturer's warranty in the US. But with Nexus Protect, we're providing an additional year, so you have 2 years of coverage for mechanical breakdown. You'll also have 2 years of protection from accidental damage, which covers those drops, spills, and cracks we all worry about. Of course, one of the worst things about a broken phone is, well, not having a phone. So if something does happen, you can file a claim 24/7 and get a new device as early as the next business day. Nexus Protect costs $69 for the 5X and $89 for the 6P. It's launching in the US today, with more countries coming soon. Finally, for all you Project Fi fans out there, we're pleased to announce that the Nexus 5X and 6P are available on the Fi network. We launched Project Fi a few months ago to offer a fast, easy wireless experience and to drive innovation with leading partners like Sprint and T-Mobile. With today's announcement, Fi users will have a larger set of phones to choose from and still enjoy all the services that they love with Fi, including a high-quality connection that intelligently selects between multiple cell carriers and Wi-Fi, and a simple data plan that provides money back for unused data. It's still early days for Project Fi, but we're excited to add these 2 Nexus phones to the program. Visit the Project Fi site to learn more and to request an invite. And that's the Nexus update. 2 new great phones and a special set of offers and services. In addition to phones, the Google Store also includes a wide selection of Android Wear watches. From round to square, from traditional to sporty, one of the best things of working with device partners is that we're able to offer customers a lot of choices. Just a few weeks ago, we introduced a beautiful set of new watches from Huawei, Motorola, and Asus that you can see here. Each watch has an always-on display, so unlike some other smartwatches, you can tell the time all the time. And they all have batteries that will last you all day. All new watches work with both Android phones as well as iPhones, so even if you decide to buy your phone from someone else, you can still have your choice of watches. You can find them all today on the Google Store. That's our family of watches and a new family of Nexus phones. Of course, one of our hopes for all this technology is that it can help connect real families too. To tell you more about how we're thinking about the needs of families in the entertainment space, here's Eunice from the Google Play team.
Thanks, Sabrina. Families have been a big priority for Google Play this year. We've rolled out some things that make it an even better place for families to play together. Things like more prominently displayed content ratings for apps and games, improved tools that help make it easier for parents to decide what's right for their families, and an all-new way to find family-friendly content across movies and TV, apps, and books. And today, I'm excited to share how we're making our music experience better for families too. I was part of the Google Play Music team when we first launched in 2011. And we've added some great features based on feedback from our users. And I want to share some of the work we've been doing on one of our most requested features, one that I've personally wanted for a while too. Let me tell you a bit more about my family to explain why. When I was in college in New York, I fell in love with East Coast hip hop, Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, and P. Diddy. And I still come back to that music today on Google Play, whether I'm just kicking back with Biggie Radio or building out playlists with all of my old favorites. But my husband, well, he's a few years older than I am, so his tastes are a bit different. He was emo before there was even a name for that. And he still occasionally returns to 80s favorites like The Smiths, Depeche Mode, and The Cure. So we're both big music fans, which is why we have 2 Google Play Music accounts. We often listen at the same time on each of our devices, whether I'm at the office or he's out for a run, and we like music that's tailored to the stuff that we like. For families like ours, and for many more, I'm excited to announce the Google Play Music Family Plan. Starting later this year, families will be able to subscribe to Google Play Music together for just $14.99 per month for 6 people. With this offer, families can unlock the same value that they would get from individual subscriptions for just one low price. So what will this look like for us? Well, like a lot of families, we've got a bunch of devices at this point. All of us have phones, we've got a tablet, laptops for work and for school, a TV with a Chromecast, and so on. With the family plan, we can listen across all of them, and we won't interrupt each other's experience. And we'll keep getting music that's personalized to each of us. So while I'm getting ready to work out with Entering Beast Mode Radio, my husband can help him discover more music that lets him wallow in self-pity. And now, with the family plan, we can afford to give our daughter access to her own account so she can enjoy Demi Lovato and Kelly Clarkson to her heart's content. This is going to be awesome for our family. We're putting the finishing touches on the product, so look for the family plan later this year. Now, music is just one of the many areas where we're doing more for families. I'd like to hand it over to Anil, who's going to talk about some of the new features we've been building for Google Photos.
Photos play a powerful role in bringing families together. There's nothing quite like that feeling of reminiscing over an old family album, or the joy of creating and sharing new memories. 4 months ago, we launched Google Photos, and people love the product. We've seen tremendous adoption. In fact, in the short time since launch, people have already uploaded over 50 billion photos and videos. Google Photos was built from the ground up, centered on 3 big ideas: a home for all your photos and videos, organized and brought to life so that you can share and save what matters. Today, I'm excited to announce 3 new features we've been working on to make it easy for you to share, relive, and hold on to the moments that matter with the people that matter. First, I'd like to talk about a feature that's near and dear to my heart. My wife, Jess, and I have a young family, which means we both take a lot of photos and videos. We each have a library of memories, often of the same event, and they're on 2 different devices, with no easy way to pull them together. Not only that, but our parents keep asking us for photos of the kids. And even though we have the best intentions, we often don't get around to sharing because it's just too hard. Mind you, this is the exact same problem whether you're a family or a group of friends that went to a party together. How do you easily pool photos and videos into a single shared album that everyone can hold on to? How do people get notified when new photos and videos have been added? And most importantly, how do you do those 2 things in a way that requires no setup and works across any device, no matter what you have? Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, Chrome OS, you name it. Well, let me show you. Here, we have my phone. I have a bunch of photos and videos from a recent family trip where we went apple picking. I've created an album, and let's say I want to share these with my wife, Jess. With Google Photos, this is really easy. I just tap the share button. I'll pick any app. In this case, we'll pick Hangouts. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll send her the link. Now, this part isn't new. This no strings attached sharing has always been part of Google Photos. Now, on this side, we have Jess's iPhone. She's going to get my message, tap the link, and here's what she sees. Jess can now tap the plus button in the upper right-hand corner and easily add her photos and videos to the same album. These are the ones she took that day on her device. Notice, I'm actually in these photos. You can see me there in the blue shirt. If we go back to my phone, you'll see that I've been notified that Jess has added photos to the album. And if I tap on that notification, I'm taken right back to the album, and I can see exactly which ones she added by the name attribution that's on the bottom of every photo. Jess and I now have a single place that has all the photos from the day, and we will both be notified anytime either of us adds photos and videos. This is a core part of the Google Photos mission. We want to make it easy for you to hold on to the memories that matter, even when you weren't the one holding on to the camera. Now, I know my mom would love to see these photos of her grandkids too. So let me go ahead and send her the link. This time, I'll pop in an inbox. I'll pick a draft I already have ready, paste the link, and then we'll go ahead and tap send. If we go onto this side now, you're looking at my mom's tablet. She's going to go ahead and open up my email, tap on the link, and this again will bring up all the photos and videos that Jess and I have shared in this album. Now, my mom wasn't with us at the Apple Orchard, so she doesn't have any photos to add, but she wants to be notified every time Jess or I add new photos to the same shared album. So she's simply going to tap join in the bottom right-hand corner. And what this does is it subscribes her to the album, and it lets her receive notifications anytime new photos and videos are added. If we go back to my phone, you'll see that I've been notified that Mom has joined the album, in theory. All right. Well, normally I would get a notification that tells me that she's seen it and that I know that she's actually viewed the photos and she's telling me she wants me to send her more. So it just so happens that a few days after, we had a little family bake-off, and I'm just going to go ahead and add these new photos and videos to the same album. And let's see what happens. Now, back on my mom's tablet, we should see a notification that I've added new photos. It looks like with the demo, we're having a little trouble getting the notifications through. But she'll get a notification. There it is. And she's going to go ahead and open up that shared album. And now she can see all the photos from the album, including the ones I just added. That's an early preview of Google Photos shared albums. A new, easy way to pool photos and videos and get updates with no setup on any device. Shared albums will be available later this year. Next, let's talk about the challenge of finding and sharing that one photo. With Google Photos, we didn't want to just build any Photos app, but rather lean on Google's strengths in organizing information. By harnessing the power of machine learning, we've made it possible to automatically organize your photos and videos around what matters to you. For example, you can quickly find all the photos of a single person in your library. But what happens if you have 150 photos of your mom and you just want to find that one photo of her from that trip to Hawaii in 2008? Or in my case, I often want to see photos that have both my daughters in them. So how do I search for photos of Ava and Lily together? To enable these powerful searches, this week we're rolling out the ability for you to label the important people in your life. You can now give them any name you like: James Ward, Maggie, Mom. The choice is yours. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about that crazy cousin I have who insists that I always call him Dutch Thunder? You can do that too. These labels are 100% private to you. Once you've added these labels, you can now perform powerful compound searches like this one. Here, I search for Maggie hiking. So rather than seeing all the photos of Maggie or all the photos I have of hiking, now I get a much smaller set of results that match both. Dad at the baseball game, Aunt May and Uncle Jerry skiing, Dutch Thunder at the beach in Cancun. It's now that much easier to find and share the exact photos that you're looking for. This feature will be available on Android this week and is coming very soon to web and iOS. Finally, let's talk about those times when you want to share photos and videos with the people closest to you. And by closest to you, I mean literally closest to you, as in they're in the same room. Say you're at home, hanging out with the family, talking about that epic day you had at the skate park. You quickly pull up the photos and videos, but then what? Your phone gets passed around, or everyone huddles around your small screen, but no one can actually see or hear. Meanwhile, your TV is sitting 10 feet away, turned off, almost as if it's mocking you. Well, no more. we're bringing Chromecast to Photos. Let's take a look. Here again, we have my phone, and on this side, we have a TV connected to Cast. The Photos app has detected that a Cast device is nearby, so we'll just tap the button, select the device, and you'll see we're ready to go. When I tap into a photo, it immediately shows up on the TV. I can swipe through my photos and videos, and they will automatically update on the big screen. I can even cast an animated GIF. Let's say I want to find a different photo to cast. On my phone, I can leave the full screen view, scrub through my library, zoom out. I can look at my albums. I can even do a search. Notice this whole time, the last photo I casted is still up on the big screen for everyone to look at, even though I'm navigating my library. Unlike mirroring, this lets me control which photos and videos I cast. So you don't have to worry about sharing your screen while you're searching your library for that next photo. What if your photos and videos haven't yet been backed up? No problem. If we go to the top of my library, you'll see a few photos I took this morning. And if you notice the cloud with the slash through them, this is designating that these photos haven't yet been backed up to my Google Photos account. They're purely local to the device, but I can still cast them. Chromecast in Photos is rolling out this week on Android and very soon to iOS. Photos are just one of the ways that we're making it even easier to bring people together around the biggest screen in the house. To talk a little bit more about how we're continuing to evolve the living room experience, I'd like to invite Mario from the Chromecast team.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil. Let's continue with TV and home entertainment. We introduced Chromecast in July of 2013 based on the simple premise that the smartphone, powerful and familiar, is increasingly at the center of how we manage our lives, including accessing TV shows, movies, music, games, and more. Chromecast allows you to bring apps to the TV simply by extending the mobile apps you already have on your phone to the big screen. Your mobile apps have the latest features. You're already logged in. They know your preferences. Connect them to Chromecast, and your phone becomes your best remote. And our vision doesn't stop at TVs. 50% of audio listening takes place in the home. Our technology allows us to go beyond the TV screen to your other home entertainment devices, including speakers. And what about content? Since the launch of the original Chromecast, thousands of Android, iOS, and web apps have been published with support for Cast. The pace of apps launching on Chromecast is accelerating. Pick from over 200,000 TV shows and movies from premium providers like HBO and Comedy Central. I'm excited to announce that starting today, Showtime is bringing all of its content to Chromecast. And Cast support will also be available from Sling TV in the next few weeks, and many other video services will follow. In sports, we offer many of the top leagues and networks. I enjoy MLB At Bat, CBS Sports, and lots of others. And I'm really excited about Cast support coming this fall to apps from the NBA, NHL, beIN Sports, and many more partners. In music, we can stream more than 35 million songs, radio stations, and podcasts. In family apps, there's a ton of great entertainment for the kids and games on the big screen for everybody in the home. One exciting aspect of the Cast model is how apps are using the smartphone to enhance what's streaming on the TV. For example, with the recently launched NFL Sunday Ticket by DirecTV, while a game is streaming on the TV through Chromecast, you can easily browse rich information on the device in your hand without disruptive overlays on the TV. You can also very easily look for another game to flip to or discover that there is a fantasy zone that you can go to. A great experience across screens. With the Cast model, apps run on your phone and get extended to the TV. By taking advantage of the superior computing power of the smartphone, we free ourselves to optimize the hardware design of Chromecast for streaming and connectivity. We can deliver great capabilities at a very inexpensive price. Couple that with practically unlimited entertainment, and you have happy users and sales momentum. Today, we're excited to announce that we have passed 20 million total Chromecast sales globally. That's in a fraction of the time of any product in the category. Google designs Chromecast hardware in tight coupling with software to deliver fast and polished experiences. Today, we're also very happy to announce two beautiful, brand new Chromecast products. First, the new Chromecast. We've redesigned Chromecast to bring a modern new look. You'll notice the industrial design that sets the new Chromecast apart from other form factors. The integrated HDMI cable makes it easy for you to take it with you on the go. In addition to black, we're offering Chromecast in two fun colors, lemonade and coral. I have one of the new Chromecasts right here. Here it is. The small size of the new Chromecast allows for it to hide behind the TV so that it doesn't clutter your living room. The integrated HDMI cable makes it really easy for you to plug it into virtually any TV, especially if you have crowded ports. Just as important, the new Chromecast hardware delivers significantly improved Wi-Fi performance. We now support 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, as well, dual band 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, as well as 802.11 AC to take advantage of the latest home networking technologies. We designed an entirely new adaptive antenna system, which includes 3 very efficient antennas and an algorithm that ensures that the Wi-Fi chip is always using the best antenna and radio frequency for the changing Wi-Fi conditions in the home. Take a look at the data that compares the original Chromecast in light blue here with competitive products of the same form factor. As Wi-Fi goes from strong to weak, throughput drops across all of the devices. Now let's add the data for the new Chromecast. Wi-Fi performance of the new Chromecast is significantly better across the entire range of conditions. The new Chromecast can sustain the flow of more data, which means higher quality video and audio, less buffering, and a superior experience. The second beautiful new Chromecast product we're announcing today is Chromecast Audio. There's a huge opportunity to bring a great audio streaming experience to your existing speakers. Fewer than 5% of US households have speakers that can connect to the internet. Chromecast Audio is a small device that plugs into an existing home speaker and streams audio through Wi-Fi from your favorite Cast-enabled apps. We've brought the personality of the new design with the circular shape also to Chromecast Audio. I love the concentric grooves around the Chrome ball as a salute to the vinyl record. The lemonade-colored audio cable adds a modern look to your speaker arrangement. Inside, you have the same adaptive antenna system as the new Chromecast for optimal Wi-Fi performance. Just connect the audio cable to the 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input of your existing speaker. We also support RCA and optical inputs. Just like Chromecast, it's really simple to set up. Plug it into power, connect to Wi-Fi, and you're ready to cast. With the new Chromecast and Chromecast Audio, you now have a simple and consistent way to amplify your entertainment to the biggest and loudest devices in the home. I'm going to ask Rishi to join Adam on stage to show you how these new devices work.
Thanks, Mario. All right, Adam and I are excited to show you these new products in action. So let's start with the new Chromecast. Now, we showed you a lot of the hardware improvements we've made. Now we're going to talk to you about some of the software improvements. And that starts with content discovery. So Chromecast over the last years had many, many new apps come. And the app model works great when you know which app to go to, simply press the cast button and start watching. But what about those moments when you don't know what to watch, or you don't know where to find it? So today, we're excited to announce a completely redesigned Chromecast app for Android and iOS that'll help you navigate all these great content options. So let's show it to you. So Adam will open up the new Chromecast app, and we'll start with What's On. With What's On, we've partnered with many top content apps to give you a single place to view all your featured content. Think of it as a central home for all your entertainment options. So now in one view, I can see what's trending on YouTube today, the most popular episodes from Hulu, latest movie rentals from Google Play Movies, or what's live streaming right now in sports on Watch ESPN. Now, we only show you content from the apps you have installed on your phone, so everything here is accessible to you. And we'll continue to add more personalization options over time. Now, we've also heard from a lot of our users that they don't know which of their mobile apps work with Chromecast. So now we give a simple view of all your cast-enabled apps. So now let's go watch something. So I was playing with the app, and I came across a show called Black Sails. So let's go ahead and select that while we bring up the Chromecast behind me. Now you can see it's executive produced by Michael Bay, so it's got to have a lot of explosions in it. So let's go ahead and watch this. Now it's going to link us directly into the Stars app, right to Black Sails. We'll even present an option for you to select which Chromecast you want to send it to. So let's go ahead and select play. And as you expect with Chromecast, we'll be streaming in full HD from the cloud.
I may be wholly unprepared for. I always thought this journey would end in battle. But now, as it turns out,
looks great. So now I can go add this to my Stars playlist if I want to, or I can go back to the Chromecast app and actually go find something else to watch, all without disrupting what's actually playing on the TV screen. So it's a much better model. So that's a quick recap of what's on. So now let's talk about the new Devices tab. With devices, we want to make it easy to control Chromecast from anywhere. So we added playback controls: pause play, stop casting, change volume. So now any device on your home network can be a remote control for Chromecast. It works great when you have friends over. They can use their own phones to actually pause the playback. So now we'll quickly go to Get Apps. We have thousands of apps that have been cast enabled and many more coming all the time. So we need a better app discovery process. So we redesigned the page completely. And here you'll find new recommendations, new apps, even new offers. So we encourage you to check it out. So now let's talk about search. With search, we want to make it easy for you to find your stuff across all the different cast-enabled apps. So for example, I had heard the X-Files is coming back to network television, so I want to catch up on the old episodes. But I didn't know where to do it. So now I can type in X-Files, or since I'm using my phone, I can just use voice search.
X-Files.
So you'll see X-Files returns said TV shows and movies. Let's go ahead and pick the TV show. And here we'll tell you all the places you can watch it on Chromecast. Now, since I have Netflix and Hulu already installed, I can start watching it right away. But if I don't have that, we'll help you get it. Now, we're indexing many of the top content partners, including Netflix, Hulu, HBO, CBS, Fox, Comedy Central, Crackle, and more. And we'll be continuously adding more over time. Now, the other cool thing is I can go back to the search results page and also see related YouTube content, movie clips, interviews with the cast, trailers, and more. So it's a lot of fun. So that's a really quick recap of the new Chromecast app. We really think it's going to help you find great stuff to watch on Chromecast. This will be rolling out over the next few weeks on Android and iOS. OK, so now we talked about making it easy to find stuff. How about making it even faster to load? One of the challenges of streaming devices today is that when you want to watch something, you have to wait tens of seconds for the app to load and the video to buffer. We need to do better. It needs to be faster than even live TV. So we're announcing a new capability called Fast Play. This allows content developers to start prefetching apps and content on Chromecast the moment you open the app on your phone. So let me show you how well this works with Netflix. So we have two Chromecasts here, one with Fast Play and one without, so you can actually do a comparison. So the moment you open the Netflix app, Netflix is automatically detecting the Chromecast on the network and is silently preloading the app. So by the time you click the cast button, it's already there. It's much faster. In fact, in our field test, we actually see it reduces app load time by 80%. But Netflix can go even further by using content caching algorithms to predict what you want to watch before you even hit play. So let's do a search for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And what you'll find is Netflix already knows I've watched the first episode, so they're smartly downloading a small segment of the next episode. So by the time I scroll down and hit play, the video is already loaded. No more buffering. It totally changes a streaming experience.
Listen up. I'm listening. Good.
Now, we're going to roll this out to all content partners. Many of the improvements will be rolling out today, with content prediction features rolling out early next year. We're really excited. So now let's talk about gaming. Gaming is obviously a very big part of the living room experience. But one of the challenges is that gamers are always looking for the latest and greatest hardware. So what does that mean for a product like Chromecast, which is designed to be simple and lightweight? Well, fortunately, we can take advantage of the most powerful gaming device in many people's homes today, their smartphone. So at Google I/O, we launched new developer tools called the Remote Display APIs. This allows a game developer to take their existing mobile game and now render two screens. One screen plays locally on the phone. The other screen is then sent to Chromecast. So effectively, the entire experience is being driven by your powerful phone. So let me show you a real example with Angry Birds Go, a popular racing game. So Adam has already cast the game to Chromecast, and you can see the phone does an amazing job of rendering the game. Angry Birds Go is just much better on the big screen. Now for this demo, Adam's using an iPhone. We released the Remote Display APIs for Android and iOS, so everyone can join in the fun. And the other really cool thing is that Adam's using the accelerometer of the phone to control the racetrack. Game developers can take full advantage of the capabilities of the phone, whether it be accelerometer, gyroscope, touch, even a camera. Turns out, the phone is just the best game controller, and it'll continue to get better as you upgrade your phone. Now, Angry Birds Go also supports a multiplayer mode, and it's really simple to set up because as long as your friend has a phone, they have their own game controller with them. Now, this is one of several games we're releasing over the next few months. Another interesting game is WGT Golf, a personal favorite of mine. It looks amazing on the big screen. Another one is Monopoly Here and Now, where you can play 4 players simultaneously. It's a lot of fun for the family. We think Remote Display can unlock thousands of mobile games into the living room. We're excited to see where developers go with it. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast. We're also announcing today new feeds coming to Backdrop, including support for 500 pixel and Getty images. And for your personal photos, in addition to supporting Google Photos, we're also announcing support today for Facebook and Flickr. There's a lot of stuff we couldn't cover today, so we hope you'll try it out and see all the new improvements for yourself. The new Chromecast will be available starting today in 17 countries. And we're going to continue to offer it for the amazing price of $35. And for those of you who want color options, that will also be available starting today from the Google Store. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast. So now let's talk about Chromecast audio. So many of us invested a lot of money in our audio systems, but we have no simple way to connect them to the music we love, which lives on our phones. So with Chromecast audio, we can take your existing speakers and make them smart. So let's say I'm at home and I want to listen to my home speaker. So let's go ahead and bring up my Nexus device. The first thing you're going to notice is that Chromecast audio works with all the top audio apps that already work with Chromecast today, including Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. For now, let's open up Google Play Music, which is the app I use for my daily listening. So you'll see I'm already logged in. Now, Chromecast audio is automatically detected by Play Music. So we just simply press the cast button, and you see a new device type for speakers. You're going to see this is very familiar, right? We modeled it exactly after Chromecast. Regardless of whether you're casting to a television or to a speaker, we believe the experience should be simple and consistent. So let's go ahead and select the device. Here's a nice little audio confirmation that you're now connected. And that's it. We don't have a complicated pairing process. And now I can just listen to my tunes. We're streaming the highest quality audio through Wi-Fi to my old home speaker. And because I'm streaming from the cloud, we can get rid of all the hassles of Bluetooth. The music won't drain the battery on my phone. I can play on any speaker in any room in the house without losing audio. And I won't hear those annoying ringtones every time someone gives me a call. It's just a better experience. Now, with Chromecast Audio, I can also control it from a variety of different ways with the lock screen, notification, or I can even go to my Android Wear Watch and skip to the next song in the playlist. Oops, I skipped one over. There we go. It's really cool. Now, of course, our home speakers are shared devices. It should be easy for anyone in the home to share their own music. So Chromecast Audio automatically works with phones, tablets, and laptops that are connected to your home network. And we also support guest mode. So you can enable friends who don't have your Wi-Fi password to cast to speakers in the same room. So let's pretend my wife walks into the room and she wants to cast her Spotify playlist. Well, today we're excited to announce Spotify is supporting Chromecast and Chromecast Audio. This will be rolling out to all new devices starting today and older generations of Chromecast over the next few weeks. So let's bring up my wife's phone, which happens to be an iPhone. Of course, with Google Cast, we're cross-platform. So regardless of whether you're an Android user, iOS user, or web user, you can cast your music to Chromecast Audio. And now, just like we saw before, all my wife needs to do is press the cast button, select the device, and our music will transition from the phone to the speakers. It's really easy. And she can do this all from the Spotify app. She shouldn't have to learn a new app just because she wants to listen to music at home. It's the same app at work, in the car, and now at your house. Now, the other cool thing is Spotify can support multiple users at the same time. So let's say I want to skip to the next song in my wife's playlist. Well, it turns out I can use my own phone to do it. So let's bring back my Nexus device and open up Spotify. Spotify will immediately detect what's playing on the home network and synchronize with the playlist. So now I can actually just swipe to go to the next song. It's really cool. Now, of course, this may start a few battles of which song to play next, but it's really easy. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast Audio. Now, we're going to continue to bring more and more apps to Chromecast Audio, but until then, we want to make it easy for you to send any audio to your speaker. So just like Chromecast, we're going to support the ability to mirror audio from your Android device or mirror audio from any Chrome tab on Windows, Mac, and Chromebook. So now you can send audiobooks, podcasts, local music, even YouTube videos right to your home speaker. We're also excited to announce that Chromecast Audio will support multi-room synchronization. This means I can play the same song across multiple speakers that have a Chromecast Audio in them. This will be rolling out later this year with an over-the-air update. Chromecast Audio will also be available starting today in 17 countries. And we're going to price it in the US for just $35. That's cheaper than a basic set of headphones. So now, you can either dust off those old speakers or connect it to new ones to get the best Wi-Fi audio experience. So that's our update today. 2 amazingly powerful products for the living room, available starting today for just $35. And 2 new Nexus devices, which showcase the best that Android has to offer. And of course, we connect these screens with our platforms and our apps, and we saw some great new options for families from photos and music. Now, before you go, we want to give you a sneak peek at one more device we've been working on. And with that, I'll introduce Andrew Bowers from the Pixel team.
Thanks, Rishi. So, as you've seen today, we're making life easier than ever to move between screens in your life, whether it's the phone in your pocket or the TV in your living room. And we've also been thinking about how to make other form factors easier to use, like tablets. Now, tablets are great for games, reading, or watching movies, but they often force you back to a laptop when you want to write a document or respond to a long email. And while there are plenty of keyboard accessories, they're often just that. They're accessories. They have cramped keyboards, require you to use them on a desk, or get in the way when you don't want to type. So this felt like an area that deserved taking a step back and rethinking from the ground up. Now, we've taken this first principles design approach before with the Chromebook Pixel, reimagining what an ideal laptop could be. And the Pixel line has yielded many great benefits, paving the way for new technology to enable the entire Google ecosystem. Let me give you just 2 examples, expounding on what Sundar mentioned earlier. A few years ago, we introduced a vastly improved touchpad architecture on the original Chromebook Pixel, both hardware and software, that's since rolled out to many Chromebooks from many manufacturers. Whereas before you had to spend $1,000 on a laptop to get a great touchpad, today you can buy a Chromebook for $150 and get a very similar experience. Another example is USB Type-C, which enables universal power, data, and display with one connector across your devices, whether it's a laptop or a phone. Earlier this year, we worked with the industry to introduce this standard, launched it on this year's Chromebook Pixel, and now it's making its way onto many devices, including the Nexus phones you saw earlier. So in the case of tablets, we ask ourselves, what would an ideal touch plus typing experience look like? Something where the screen and the keyboard complement each other to make the whole greater than the sum of its parts. The culmination of that effort is a new addition to the Pixel family, Pixel C, a new device running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. Now, if you're familiar with the Chromebook Pixel, you'll immediately see the family resemblance. It has the same clean lines and anodized aluminum design. There are no exposed screws and minimal distractions. Precision engineering means everything fits together with really tight tolerances, and it feels really sturdy and solid in your hands. Now, Pixel C, where the C stands for convertible, is an entirely new approach to combining a tablet and a keyboard. Closed, they're held together with self-aligning magnets. But when you're ready to get down to work, slide the tablet off, touch it to the back of the keyboard, and lift. The tablet attaches magnetically, and the screen is fully adjustable between 100 and 135 degrees. There's no kickstand or clasp mechanism to get in your way. The keyboard connects via Bluetooth, avoiding unsightly contacts on your tablet. And it's also really sturdy. I can hold it by the tablet. I can hold it by the keyboard. I can hold it upside down. It's very easy to use in your lap. You can use it on the bed. You can use it on the couch, wherever you want to use the device. Now, the Pixel C size is designed for usability of the keyboard without sacrificing its usability as a tablet. The screen size is 10.2 inches with a square root of 2 aspect ratio. Now, that's a metric area ratio that's used by A-series paper, of which A4 is the standard letter format throughout much of the world. And what this means is it's delightful to use in either portrait or landscape orientations, while at the same time giving us enough room for a full-size keyboard. Now, for context, a typical 13-inch laptop has a 19-millimeter pitch keyboard, where it pitches the distance center to center between 2 keys. On the Pixel C, we have an 18.8 millimeter pitch, almost the same, but within a much more portable 10-inch size. And we're able to do this by moving 5 less frequently used symbol keys from the edge of the keyboard to the on-screen keyboard. And this works because your hands are in very close proximity to the screen. Now, the Pixel C's keyboard has the same great feel as the Chromebook Pixel, 1.4 millimeter travel, very responsive force curve. We've tested the layout and the keyboard overall extensively and find it to be a really great touch typing experience. And it's not just for US layouts. This works for international keyboards as well. Now, while we do lots of typing, sometimes you just want to use the tablet itself, and the keyboard shouldn't get in the way in that case. So with the Pixel C, the keyboard attaches to the back of the tablet securely so that it's out of the way but close by. And unlike Bluetooth accessories, the Pixel C knows when to use the physical keyboard and when to use the on-screen keyboard. So I can enter in here on the screen, but then if I want to do more extensive typing, the keyboard's there for me. Now, it is a Bluetooth keyboard. It has a small battery, but you'll never have to charge it either. When closed, the tablet inductively charges the Pixel C's keyboard. Just a few minutes a day closed will keep the battery topped up. And if you don't close it for a while, don't worry. The keyboard will last for over 2 months of daily active usage without ever recharging. So this keyboard experience is really nice, but we think you're also going to like the tablet. The Pixel C's display lives up to its name with 308 pixels per inch. That's 4.6 million pixels if you're keeping count. It's super bright at 500 nits and has amazing sRGB color gamut. All of this while keeping the power low enough for great battery life on a tablet. Driving all of those pixels is an NVIDIA X1 quad-core processor with a desktop class Maxwell GPU. Now, if you're familiar with graphics, you'll realize that's a lot of graphics horsepower in a mobile device. You'll see that games really shine. We've put stereo speakers on either side so that movies come to life as well. And with the adjustable angle screen, there's no more propping up your tablet on books or pillows to watch a movie. As you saw earlier, Marshmallow makes voice input even more powerful. And while a phone is often close by, you maybe leave your tablet on the coffee table or on a desk. So to enable far-field voice input, we've added 4 microphones. So now you can have voice interactions from across the room. Of course, the tablet charges with USB Type-C. And one of my favorite features for a quick check of battery life, double tap on the light bar. Now, all of the great Marshmallow features you saw earlier are here. And like our other Pixel devices, the Pixel C will get better over time, with software updates every 6 weeks. We think the Pixel C's tablet and keyboard experience really unlocks new ways to both play and be productive on one device. The Pixel C will be available in time for the holidays on the Google Store, starting at $499 for the tablet and $149 for the keyboard. We're really excited to be expanding the Pixel family to now span both Chromebooks as well as Android tablets. Like Nexus, Pixel pushes the boundaries of what's possible with technology, making the entire Google ecosystem better for our users. Expect to hear more about the Pixel C in the coming months. So we hope we've given you a good sense of what's to come today. We think you're going to like it. And with that, let me hand it back to Chelsea.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you all so much for joining us today, especially for everyone who joined us via live stream from around the world. Okay.
That was fast. Whoa.
So fast.
So, hey guys.
Hi.
Ladies back in the house. Welcome everybody back to CNET Live. We're just going to wrap this up, and we are going to let you guys call in. We'll just hang out for about 15, 20 minutes and hear what you guys had to say. Evan is actually on the line right now, but just to let you know, we want to hear what you thought. Obviously, Google dropped a ton of stuff on us. I liked a couple things. Some things were all right to me. Phone number, 1-888-900-CNET. That's 2638. We will be here for the next little bit. We like to hear what your thoughts are and what your first impressions are. Ladies in the room, maybe a few things you liked. Was the phone as bad as you thought it was?
No, it was exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. You still want the IG phone.
I still want the IG phone, and they made it sound like the camera is very much improved on the 6P. So, again, we'll have to get it in our hands, test the camera, see how it goes.
Proof's in the pudding.
See how many likes I get. That'll be
Proof's
the final determination.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they always play up the camera. They talk about how all this different technology they're putting into it's going to make it better. And they tend to gloss over like it doesn't have optical stabilization technology, but you don't need it because it has,
Yeah.
So it's all going to come down to when we actually test it, when we take pictures, when we shoot it out against the iPhone and everything else, and just see if it's actually that great.
No matter what, even if a camera is good or not, every time you see a company talk about their camera, they're going to highlight what their camera does the best. Right? So they were highlighting low light.
Yep.
Okay, fine, it's the best low light, but there's way more to a camera than that. Quite honestly, sometimes I kind of like concede the fact that I'm not going to buy a camera just because it's a good low light camera.
Right.
That's
of course. And they really tried to back it up by saying that we spend an average of 20 hours a day indoors. Like, still not convinced.
Right.
I don't
Still
say
gonna be outside.
20 hours indoors a day? Damn.
That's a lot.
That's really depressing.
Maybe employees at Google that were developing the technology, they were like in bunkers.
Our engineers spend 28 hours a day.
They do not sleep ever.
Their eyes are very sensitive to light. Clearly. So we have the 6P, like we talked about before the show, $499. The 5X, $379, I guess, starting if off the top of my head.
Yep.
The lines are locked up, so let's just talk to people and see what their impressions are. We have a man by the name of Evan.
Evan's back.
I think he still might be.
Evan
from
Ohio.
I actually forgot to drop him, so that's why.
Bye, Evan.
It's okay. We have the phone lines are filling up right now as we speak, so we're going to wait for our lovely Elisa, who, if you call in, you need to be very nice to.
She's the best.
She's managing all the calls. What did you guys think of the Chromecast products? How about this? What is applicable to you? Because certain things, but would you buy either of these products and why?
So applicable to me, a while back, I tested a product. I forgot what it's called now. Obviously, it didn't really take off. It was a Kickstarter project that let you plug in these Bluetooth dongles into any speaker, and then you can stream your music to any speaker that was connected to the dongles and have surround sound, whatever. So this really reminds me of that Chromecast audio. And I'm excited about that because I don't have Sonos. I do have an audio system connected to my TV where I stream music from my phone already, so that's cool. But I also have a few Bluetooth speakers around my house that it would be really nice to be able to sync them if I have people over, or even...
Ed? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Coral.
Coral.
We'll call it
I know what coral looks like. That wasn't coral.
Yeah, it's not coral.
Coral's more like orange. It
Yep.
really complements
You know.
turquoise
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah, you know.
Ladies, come on. Come on. You think I don't know about this stuff? Yeah, it's a nice combo.
Yeah.
It's a nice combo on the ladies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the Chromecast. I mean, look, before we said this, I'm personally want to get the 6P for my work phone, and I want to Chromecast it. So those are the two things that I like the most out of this that I'm gonna get. What about you? You had a good point about the Chromecasts.
Well, and so I have a Chromecast right now, the original model, and I actually really like it. But there's, stability issues with it sometimes, depending on your internet connection. So I'm hoping that they've made improvements to just make that more stable. Some of the things they were showing with the app, I really like the ability to say, I know of a TV show, but I have no idea where to find that. Google's already done that with Google search, so it makes total sense they would just bake this in and make it more obvious so that I can go straight to Hulu or go straight to Amazon or wherever and find the TV show that I want to watch. So I think small updates like that are cool because when the original Chromecast came out, it was pretty bare bones. Felt kind of like a developer-y thing. You kind of had to know what you were doing to use it. So I'm glad they're making it a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more colorful, and the price is still pretty good. I mean, although my point being the Chromecast audio, it's the same price as just getting a regular Chromecast, which can do video. So why not just have that if your TV set up to a really good surround sound system? I feel like the Chromecast audio is kind of not as useful, and I wish it was a little bit cheaper to get to more people who just want to use it for music.
Yeah, I could see that. Or if you're someone like Mish running that into their Apple TV, Google is showing that off in their Chromecast product now, where you type in a show, it shows you where you can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite honestly, streaming has exploded. That's probably the most underrated, but totally will be the most used feature, with video streamers.
Yeah.
That's the thing you want all the time, right? Where am I going to watch this? So I love that a lot. Okay, let's go hit the phone lines and see where people are at. We have our friend Gabe calling in, wants to talk Chromecast and Chromecast. Gabe, what's up? Welcome to CNET Live.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Richmond, Virginia.
All right, welcome. What do you want to talk about today?
I'm a huge fan of the Chromecast. I'm a big Apple fan, and it's really surprising to see that Google is making some products that really work well for everyone. I bought the Chromecast first because it's cheaper, and the Apple TV I bought it a couple months later, and it just it doesn't stack up. I thought it was going to be better, but it just ended up being better. I have friends come over who have Android devices, and we all stream to the same device.
Oh, you guys have a Chromecast party?
What?
Yeah, we actually literally do.
That's cool. That's fun.
Awesome.
I mean, that's what they, that was one of those things that they would tout, and I am totally on board with you based on how, also just the immediacy of tossing content directly to your TV through a Chromecast. I know these are first world issues that we have, but instead of booting up a product, navigating with it with a remote, and then picking something, you could just throw it directly to a screen in, let's say 5 seconds or so. So I'm definitely on board with that. Were you with the Chromecast when it first started, when it only had 2 or 3 apps, and you've kind of seen it evolve as well?
Yeah, I got it about a year and a half ago, so 6 months after it came out on Christmas special or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone went crazy for that.
Yeah, the Christmas specials are great, but it's paid for itself with all the free promotions I've got in the last 2 year or year and a half. Free movies, free, giveaways that Google gives.
Yeah.
But also, like you were saying about the the Apple TV, it's like its product is, you have to sort through it on a screen as opposed to sorting through it and then, reading about like a movie or watching a trailer on your phone or whatever, and then shooting it. Like if we're watching with family or whatever, everyone can read about an individual movie or TV show themselves and then stream it on the TV. It just makes way more sense as opposed to like reading a description on a huge TV and one person being in control of the Netflix, going through super slow. It just doesn't make sense.
And I also loved, they touched upon it, but just as we've seen how people are consuming even sports content or we were at this point where everyone's talking about a dual screen, right? Tablet complementing a TV. But the Chromecast solution is really hot where the app itself throws the video and then you still have all the app stuff on your phone while still being able to control it. So it's not like you're necessarily having to look in two places. You have the option to if you want. Yeah. But building that into the app, instead of a lot of times in the beginning, we'd had a tablet that would like sync up via the audio of the video that you're watching and show you things like clips or art behind the scenes. So you're like doing too many things at once and it just is distracting. So I think the way that they talked about the NFL app and how that is going to evolve with developers with their content, I mean, that's really cool to me as well.
Yeah, that I agree that like the API is probably one of the most interesting things that they're building out. Like Google definitely has a different approach to content than Apple. They're more open to accepting different content providers and things like that. And I think that's like a win for consumers because you have more ways of streaming for different options like Netflix or Google Play, or obviously you can't stream your iTunes movies or whatever, but it's definitely made me more interested in the Google, the Google Play Store and Google products in general. It's almost like a little Google Trojan horse into my, Apple ecosystem.
No, that's great. Hey, Gabe, thanks so much for calling. We really appreciate it. Thanks for the good stuff. All right.
Awesome. It's nice to meet you.
Awesome. Nice to meet you too in VA. All right. Next up, we've got Christopher calling in. Christopher also wanted to talk some of that Chromecast action. What's up, Christopher?
Hi, I've been a long time Microsoft person. I have a Surface Pro 3. I have a Windows Phone, Xbox, and every time I get a phone, I always switch between one or the other. Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing is I wanted to get a Chromecast for a while, and I'm the biggest thing I'm glad about that is that they didn't increase the price a whole lot. It went from $30 to $35. They added all this new Wi-Fi support, all these new features. And with the ever-increasing market of streaming devices, the price point is very important.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Apple TV over 100, Roku.
$149 for Apple TV.
Right.
Chromecast $35. Like new one, $35.
Yeah. Yep.
Apple TV $149.
Yeah.
Chromecast.
And mind you, I have my Surface. I have the wireless adapter for it that's plugged in my TV. My brother has a smart TV. We have an Xbox One.
Do you work for Microsoft?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Reveal yourself.
Show your face.
Yeah. I refer to myself as a Microsoft fanboy.
That's good. That's awesome.
I believe all their
It
stuff.
is so nice to meet you.
But
you are the first.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's nice to have something that anybody can use. Mm-hmm. It's cheap. It's upgraded to AC Wi-Fi, so it's going to be faster.
Oh yeah.
It's just there's almost I don't know if I'm that colorful. I usually get everything black. Not emo, but for some reason after all the 90s and early 2000s, everything being like that tan or gray color.
Yeah, you're so right.
The beige stuff.
Yeah, it's just horrible. I still see that in retailers. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
All right, Christopher. Well, hey, thanks for calling. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it, okay?
Thanks. Have a great day, guys.
All right, awesome. You too. Okay, we have 2 calls. I think we'll just take these last 2 calls and then just wrap things up and kind of tell you where else you can find kind of some of the latest stuff from us. Gary calling in. Everybody's all about this Chromecast. This is great stuff.
Ooh.
I think we know what the hot product that really resonated
Nobody
with
really
people.
cares about
How
the
much time they
Pixel
spend
C.
talking about it too.
Yeah.
Nexus phones were kind of a short part of that.
Yeah, it's absolutely. All right, Gary, what's up? Welcome to CNET Live.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, good. You want to talk some Chromecast?
Absolutely. I think that the Chromecast audio is a great addition. I mean, take for instance, I have Kisslet's computer speakers, pushing audio. My whole family connects to them via Bluetooth. So I think, the addition, the Chromecast edition is great.
Do you have a Spotify set up, Gary? Like, do you have a subscription with Spotify at all?
Actually, we use Google Play Music.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Well, then that family plan probably was like really, you were probably happy about that.
Absolutely, and I actually called my wife soon, as I saw it, all excited, honey, they're coming out with a family plan. She's like, oh my God, okay, that's great.
Honey, stop what you're doing. Google Play's got a family plan. I know that was you. I know that was you.
Absolutely.
You didn't even text. It was so urgent. You had to make the call.
Oh yeah, I called her directly. She's like, "Oh, well, why are you so excited? What are you doing over there?" I said, "Hey, I'm looking at the Google, keynote." She's like, "Oh, okay, that's great."
yeah. She's like, "Oh, great. I'm dealing with more important things over here." Awesome, Gary. Yeah, because the only reason I brought up the Spotify thing is because I think it'll be interesting to see if there's family that's using Spotify who really controls that playlist. Yeah. At the end of the day, they showed that feature where it detects it. Everyone shows that same playlist that's currently playing. Who rules that? In this room.
Generally?
Let's say in this room, who would win?
Me.
No.
Probably Sharon. I don't know.
I would take her phone away and then start controlling that playlist.
I'm really into trap music right now.
I'm down.
My Spotify's a mess, so not me.
Yeah, my Spotify is very unorganized.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird.
Yeah.
I have very specific playlists. It's like ladies between the ages of 20 and 25 who sing pop music and wear sparkly suits at their concerts.
Wow.
So that would be Katy Perry,
Marina
Taylor
and the
Swift.
Diamonds.
Who else?
Marina and the
Selena
Diamonds.
Gomez. Selena, like she's really watching.
Yeah.
I heard she
Yeah.
actually watches. Just kidding.
Oh, I was like, I don't know. It's so.
She's like, I love you.
Good to meet you.
Gary, I'm sorry you had to hear all that.
Whoa,
Yeah,
hey
that's
Gary.
so
Hey
real.
Gary. Hey.
He's like, yo guys, there's someone still on the line. Gary, was there anything else?
It's fine.
Was there anything else that stuck out to you at the keynote that you might have liked, or wasn't that big of a deal to you?
Actually, I like the bigger model of the Nexus. I mean, I think it was great, but I think you have a point when you say that these companies tend to pump up their cameras actually more than what they really are. So I would have to actually see this camera perform in person, and judge it myself.
Yeah, we'll put it to the test, as we say. All right, Gary. Hey, thanks so much for calling. Have a good day. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Here we go. Let's go hit up Brandon in Sacramento, Sacktown and back down. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's going on? We got another one here that wants to talk Chromecast, don't you?
Oh yeah. No. Well, first of all, I love how you guys handle live events. You're the reason I like CNET. But besides that, I think that the Chromecast is just an amazing device, specifically for the reason that's using the Chromecast as as the server in it, so everyone is connected. It's not using any material from your phone except for giving it inputs. But specifically, I'm a huge fan of Range. It's still tying up your phone. You still hear all your notifications in it. No one else can connect to it. I love the fact that just anyone in the house would have the ability to pause it or anything like that. It makes it amazing for parties and get-togethers, and especially the fact that it's so small, you can just put it in your pocket, take it over someone else's house, and it's really quick to even set up again for a different location.
Yeah.
But huge fan of it.
So, Brandon, what would you say if someone asked you, is that a Chromecast in your pocket? Or are you happy to see me?
I'd be proud to say it is, for sure.
Good answer.
You're all, yes, and it's lemonade.
Also, that is clearly not coral. That's red.
Thank
that's
you.
Like
Thank
ruby
you.
red.
Thank you.
I don't know what the hell they're trying to say about that, but
Wait,
yeah,
did you say ruby red? You didn't say red. You said ruby red?
It's ruby red, specifically.
It's not coral. It's ruby red.
It's actually CNET red.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for calling, Brandon. We appreciate it.
Yep, I'll call more often. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Great. All right, Tino. Tino is in the house. What's going on? Welcome to CNET Live.
Hey, my name is Tino. I just wanted to talk about the phones, 6P and the 5X.
Yes.
In the world of phones, I think the iPhone, the HTC One, they're all beautiful phones, but the 6P and the 5X, oh my God, they're hideous phones.
You think they're
And also on top of that, you know?
No, keep going. I thought the 6P actually, did you see it? It looks pretty nice
I thought the
on the
6P
side
was
profile.
cool.
It looks pretty nice.
I think the profile is nice and stuff, but when you look at the back of the phone, the camera is just sticking out again, and the iPhone does it, everyone else is doing it. It's one of the things that just annoys me. And I bet a bunch of other people feel annoyed too when you put down the phone. It just wibbles a little bit.
You're not, Tino, you're not the only
I'm with
one.
I'm with you. I hate phones that rock. I hate phones that, like, if you set them on a counter, you can't, like, press the screen and it moves. Like, that drives me crazy.
So basically, you hate all current flagship phones.
That means I have to put everything in a case to deal with that. But I had an HTC One, and, like, that thing just
It had a wobble. That had a wobble because the way it was curved.
Right.
I loved that phone at the time. I thought that phone was a killer phone, and but it totally had a super wobble. I think it was the iPhone 3G had the super wobble too.
Yeah.
It was that ceramic-y curved. Anyways, keep on going, Tino. We're sorry about that. Keep going, sir.
No, it's good. It's good. And the other thing is this: as much as I love the HTC One and the beauty of it, and etc., the front side of the speakers were just hideous, and I can't believe they did it on the 6P and the 5X. Again, they have these amazing.
You know how you feel about the camera,
Yeah,
sure.
but the front. I'm trying to pull up a photo of those speakers.
Yeah, the front facing speakers.
They don't seem to be intrusive.
People seem to really like them because it's like better
Dude,
audio
I love
playback.
I love it.
Without,
YouTube videos sound like way better.
I don't think it's intrusive. I just think the designer reminds me of like 2009, where phones are just like ugh. And now when you look at phones, they're just like the Xiaomi or the other Chinese phone makers, or even the iPhone or other like Motorola and etc. They have such beautiful phones. And now they're just making phones that are just, well, at least Google 6P and the 5X are just starting to look like 2009, 2010 again. And slowly, I hope they kind of like, they make something beautiful again.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
It'll come down to who they, like we kind of alluded to this in the beginning. I do think it comes down to what the agreement is and how much they're targeting to price these phones when they build them. And these manufacturers kind of have to adhere to that. And that's going to limit what, at least when you are in a partnership with Google, what you actually end up making. It's not like Google saying, make us the ultimate phone that's, an $800 phone.
Right.
We actually haven't seen anything like that from Google, and that's not who they're trying to be. So
Yeah.
That's probably
one last thing, right before I go back to work. I just don't understand the pricing for the Chromecast. I think they're awesome products. The problem is, I would charge the same amount for the video and the audio product. I thought it would be like maybe $25 or something. Nevertheless, it's a great price, but I just felt like, why would I do that? I would just get an HDMI converter.
Just because it's a little limited functionality.
Well, that was it. I hope I had a good time watching you. And
Awesome.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks,
Thank
Tino. Thanks for
you.
calling. We appreciate it, okay? All right, I know I said it. I do a few more calls, but now we look like we are closing the lines. We have 3 more calls left, so if you want to call, you're going to have to call back next time. Actually, which reminds me.
Oh, yeah.
This Thursday, you can call us back because we've got an LG event this Thursday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific. You know what time that means we got to wake up at?
Not me. I think Lexi's on that one.
Steven, are you going to be here?
I think I'm just going to sleep
Sharon.
here.
Sharon, but I'm pretty sure you're here for the Microsoft Monday keynote at 6:45 a.m.
We'll talk later. My boss is watching. We'll talk later.
Like, I got a dentist appointment that I forgot about.
PTO.
Oh, no. PTO. All right, let's hit up Daniel. Give me a second, Daniel, to get you on. Daniel, welcome to CNET Live. What's going on?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourself?
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to have a talk about the new cameras and the new phones.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's I think they're being a little bit underrated because that laser feature for autofocus, it's really amazing. Like, I've having
freaking lasers.
Yeah, totally.
Ill-tempered shark with lasers. No, I, again, like everyone has touched upon, we're just gonna have to see what the final proof in the pudding is. Quite honestly, it might, if arguably based on what they showed, it might be the best low light camera we've seen. But I've never made a decision on a camera just because it was the best low light camera.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, but I also happen to be a photographer, and when you have a larger photo size on the sensor, it also improves the color and of course the noise that you get. And anyway, I'm using my main camera for even shooting on billboards. It's only 12 megapixels. You don't need that high pixel count.
But
right. It's something that Apple does a lot. Like their cameras are always like 8 megapixels or something like that to get that quality. I think Google actually did the right move, because when you have Nokia pumping like 40-something megapixels on a sensor, well, that doesn't make sense at all, because the sensor
entirely different quality-wise. And my biggest gripe with these Nexus phones is that Google often relies on software to compensate for things like low light. And it's unclear if the camera itself is going to be producing those high-quality results, or they're using software to compensate. So, which could then produce the noise that we're used to. So, I mean, again, we'll see. The laser thing looks really cool, also useful in low light, but
lasers.
And that's become the next biggest technology for, smartphone cameras. So I'm glad to see it included. And you're right. I mean, that the sensor size can be so much more important than the megapixels. We're used to low quality, mediocre cameras on the Nexus phone. So we're really hoping for it to be better this time.
Prove yourself, Google.
Prove yourself. Hey, Daniel, you're shooting photos, but I'm guessing you're shooting on DSLR mostly, but you just use your phone as a secondary camera. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, sort of. Like I use an A7S, which I picked because of that, because it has big photo size.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, of course not. Well, there's also another thing from these phones that I really like, and it's this fingerprint thing. I don't know why it took so long for a designer to realize that the best place to put it is on the back of your phone, not in the front.
Yep.
Well, they took a page out of LG, and when on the LG phones that had the actual power switch on the back, and I think you could also use it as the shutter, it's perfectly placed there. When you grab your phone, it's right there. So I thought it was slick for them to kind of incorporate that kind of nugget that LG figured out a long time ago. So
the only thing I don't like about it is that it requires a click.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, thanks, Daniel. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I will have fun. With or without you. All right, Mason. I like this call coming into us from Tampa. Mason, what's up? Welcome to CNET Live.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
We are doing great. You wanted to talk about a product that no one has called in about, and I'm loving it. Fire away, my friend.
I wanted to actually talk about the Pixel C.
Oh, yeah.
What I like to call it the iPad. Anyway.
Wait.
I actually like how it looks. It's actually pretty cool. But the main thing about it is that it looks like it's very usable. You can use it a ton of different ways, and mainly for media consumption.
Yeah, you know what? If you're in the Google ecosystem, this is, and you want a convertible tablet type product, this is it. Now, it does not run Chrome OS. It's actually running Marshmallow. So they're sticking with the mobile platform.
The bad part.
So it's not going to be anything close to like a desktop replacement. But the first thing that you said was the first thing that we said in here. That thing looks slick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way it compacts together. Like, I'm sorry, I ripped on it. Like, if you look at Apple's, I know it's a lot bigger, but Apple's iPad Pro keyboard case, it does this extra flip of material, and it goes, it looks like garbage, man. And this thing's like magnetic. You can tilt it and like hold it at the angle. And he was like flinging it around like he didn't even care. And I was like, and by the way, yes, we agree with the room. Like, that was like a cross between Tim Cook and Neil Patrick Harris.
Wow.
Like, we couldn't get over it. We couldn't get over it. It was like,
I had to listen, not watch.
We didn't know what he was trying to do on stage, but it was like
it was literally the love child of Tim Cook and Neil Patrick Harris.
It was.
Like, it was pretty odd.
Pixel laptop, which runs Chrome OS, because that thing is expensive.
Yeah.
But the other thing about it is, one thing we really don't know about it is if it has a camera. If it does, then that's cool. But it probably doesn't need it if you're going to be using it for media consumption anyway.
Looks like there's a camera in this picture, like a little dot in the middle. And the
Probably
top.
front
But
facing.
that's an interesting point you make, Mason, because see, they showed off the product, but they did not talk too much about the detailed specs of it, quite honestly.
Yeah,
other than Runny Marshmallow, the size of the screen, and the laptop.
And NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And the NVIDIA chip. That's about it.
So, it starts at $499. The keyboard case is $149. It's a nice size at 10.2 inches. So, I think there's a market there. I don't know how big the market is for that because you have so much competition. Like, still to this day,
I think it's good for the Google fans that want an iPad.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm seeing it as.
What's also kind
this
of
is like a good iPad looking thing.
What's also kind of cool about it is that it has USB-C, so assuming that the battery is decent, you can charge your phone with the tablet and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, again, that all depends on the battery and whether or not you'll actually be utilizing it. But I could see how someone would want to stay in that family for those types of reasons.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the phones, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. Silly names, though.
Yeah, awkward names.
Hey, you know what? Now these days, if you have a next generation phone that kind of looks the same but kind of doesn't, just add a letter to it. It's cool. It's like they were like, oh, we have the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6. We've had a Nexus 5 before. Let's just add a P to it.
Yeah, all they had to do was call it the 5 and the 6 Plus, or what they wanted to call it, like the 2015 moniker on the end of it, just to make it a lot easier. But
I preferred the Nexus 5S and the Nexus 6S.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Very original.
How about the S6S?
S6S? The 6S.
Cover all of the country.
Success.
Success.
So
everybody wants the 6S. Which one? Samsung? Apple?
It's okay. Yeah, it's cool.
I like the cameras on it. I like that they increased the aperture size because if you put the aperture plus HDR, it actually helps a lot with the outside pictures.
Without a doubt, their best camera. Without a doubt, Nexus line best camera up to this point. We'll just have to. Everyone wants to talk. Just put it to the test. We'll see what happens. Let's do it. All right, hey Mason, thanks so much for calling. Okay.
Yep.
All right, we appreciate it. Okay. There's gonna be a lot of pressure on Fred here, calling from Brooklyn. Fred, you ready for this?
Brooklyn.
Fred, welcome to CNET Live.
How's it going?
Good, man. Where are you calling from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going great out here. How about yourself? What did you like about the keynote?
Well, I mean, a lot of it, was leaked beforehand. A lot of it wasn't really a surprise. What I really found interesting is that Marshmallow's incorporating active display. I mean, that was a Moto-only feature up until, I guess, they just announced this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm really glad they carried that feature over. It was a very useful feature to me on the Moto X. And I've been debating on whether or not I should go with the 6X, the 6P, or if I should just, get the new Moto Pure Edition. And I think I'm leaning towards one of the two new Nexus devices.
Yeah, I think that, because it brings the active display and also just, personally, I just really like overall what this phone has and just how the Marshmallow experience is going to be integrated in it. Like, we haven't talked about it. I don't think their demo was as strong as it was at Google I/O, but the Google on Tap feature is insane to me. On Tap, I wish I could really know what my significant other is saying with the press of a button. It would help solve a lot of communication problems.
Yeah.
Right, Steven? Right, Steven?
Yes.
What?
Right, sometimes the ladies are hard to understand.
The one other thing I wanted to bring up was the device that Sharon was referring to on Kickstarter was Rocky.
Thank you, Rocky.
ROCKI.
Yes.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't it remind you of that?
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, it connects the same way. The only difference that I've seen was, I believe Rocky has a battery.
Rocky has a battery that you can, but
you
also
carry it
have
around
to
with
charge.
you and just plug in.
You have to charge it through micro USB. It also used Bluetooth, whereas Chromecast audio will run over Wi-Fi direct.
Oh, because I thought Rocky was supposed to feel of a Wi-Fi also.
Oh, it was Wi-Fi. You're right.
Is this Rocky? This is the right one, right?
Rocky. Yep, that's it.
Rocky.
Hey, look at that cool CNET logo down there.
Oh, it must have covered it.
Some outlet that covered it. They must be pretty good at tech coverage. That's what I've heard.
It was clunky, so I'm hoping for a better. Did you try it out?
No, I never tried it out. I found it to be interesting, and my house is full of Sonos right now, so.
Oh, he's Sonosed out.
Whether or
Come
not I'm
on
actually
now.
even going to try the Chromecast, maybe on an older stereo that I have downstairs.
He's like on that old speaker system from like
Yeah.
5 years ago that's in my man cave, but I've
Yeah,
got
I have to dust
Sonos. I've got Sonos.
Yeah, if you have
That's
Sonos,
nice.
You know
you're
what? Listen,
set.
I get it from my mother. No problem. Like you said, stocking stuffers.
Or like you just sneak it in and plug it in at your mom's place on her speaker so that you can do your thing when you're over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Easy, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's
All
going to
right.
do it
Bye-bye.
for this week. Actually, no, not this week. In fact, we have more coverage coming.
Yes, we do.
Okay, here's the little rundown schedule for y'all.
Let's go.
Here's our official graphics.
This is
LG event
So high.
Thursday, 7:45 Pacific time. That means we'll be here around 7:15, 7 a.m. We'll talk about what LG is planning to put out, and then here's my new scrolling graphic here. Microsoft
binder paper.
Monday, 6:45 a.m. Pacific time. 6:45.
Ah! It's looking to be dark.
Okay, the East Coast is having breakfast, and my eyes haven't even opened up. 6:45.
Just Skype from your bed.
Here. I better make sure I'm presentable. Okay. Anyways, there you guys go for all the follow-up coverage, video coverage, insight, analysis. Are you gonna be doing anything for kind of this
All the
kind of
things.
wrap
We'll
up?
be doing a lot of things.
Tell me
So,
more.
And we
Hype
know
it up.
that Android Marshmallow is rolling out sometime next week. We don't know exactly
Yes.
the details, but look forward to just more in-depth coverage of what it is and what it does and what's cool about it. Stuff about Google Photos. They announced a whole bunch of new little features to Google Photos as far as sharing, so look forward to that. And right now we already have live all the details you need to know about the new phones, the new tablet, the new Chromecast devices, everything they announced.
We also want to say thank you to our lovely Elisa in the phone booth.
Elisa.
Do we knock on the glass. Knock on the glass to make her.
Yay! Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We will see you guys here on Thursday. Same place, same bat channel. Time 7:45 a.m. That's it. CNET Live. We'll see you. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Is that a new little ditty? You replaying that? Or is that you? Nice.
All right, we're still live, so I'm gonna shut it down.
No cussing.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
No potty mouth.
Thank you.
Dude, these polished graphics are awesome.
Yeah, that was so great. You owned it. You just owned it.
That was funny.
Thank
you, Miss McCroft. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right, lock this down.